Name change video part 2. So hello and welcome. I'm Micheila, founder of Strive Alliance, and this is a community where we are endeavoring continuously to experience more efficient and effective ways of experiencing life in the way we actually want to experience it, to experience the joy we would like to experience in our lives, to experience the successes we would like to experience in our lives as well. So this is a follow-up video from the previous video I made as to why I changed my name. I'm going to link the link to that video below. And I had received a few questions regarding why I changed my name, a follow-up on top of why I changed my name, and some questions in terms of what my experience was like. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to actually be reading a question out and then answering the question from there. Okay, so let us get right to it. So one of the questions is changes or feelings that I experienced upon changing my name and making it official. So what were the changes and experiences that I had upon changing my name and making it official? Okay, so this is more on an energetic level in terms of feeling. The changes, I resonated a lot more with my chosen name as opposed to my given name, in terms of how I felt about being called upon the name. So the name I used to have before, I never felt as I was one with the name. It never felt like it was me. So when the opportunity came to change my name, although it was not an easy choice to make, it was also liberating. So it was scary and liberating at the same time. And what I experienced in terms of changing my name was I was able to now experience what it felt like for me to feel like I am whole, like I am one with my name. So it's not two separate parts of me where it's like I don't resonate with it. It's actually now part of me where like I do resonate with it because it feels like me, right? I hope that answers your question, that one. And then what kind of shift did I feel? So one of the things that I noticed immediately after choosing my name, and I decided that this is the name that I'm going to now carry forth with me, was there was a lot of groundedness. I felt grounded. I felt more grounded, more like, at ease, more in flow. And I think that also had to do with it wasn't just a name change, right? It's like I'm saying there was a sense of wholeness in how I felt that I now resonated with my chosen name. So it felt more like me. It felt more like, okay, this feels right for me. So that was the difference in terms of how I felt when I now decided that I'm doing this thing. This is my balanced name. For those of you who haven't yet watched the video that I'm going to link below, because this is a follow-up to that. A balanced name is essentially when I'm balancing the name that I'm called upon to my date of birth. So we have birth parts. We all come onto earth for a specific reason. For us to believe that anyway, everyone is free to believe what they choose to believe. But according to my studies and my research and my experiences, we all come into earth for a specific reason, and the reason is also linked vibrationally to our birth path, and our name, right? Our name influences how that vibration is expressed in our day-to-day lives as we go through this human experience here on earth. Okay, so did I have challenges adjusting to using my balanced name on an energetic level? Not at all. I think the most significant challenge I experienced after changing my name was getting the people who knew me to start getting used to calling me upon my new name. So that was the most significant challenge. And essentially what happened is every time someone called me on my own name, I would remind them, nope, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. They call me, that's not who I am. And sometimes I got to a point where I'm like, if you're gonna call me on my old name, I'm not gonna react. I'm not gonna respond to you. So it's gonna be like falling on deaf ears. So I was very stern in terms of what I allowed myself to be called from those around me. Family felt it the most. At the time, I was still in a corporate job, and the people I worked with, I think they adjusted it to a bit more, because when you are working in the corporate world, you spend a lot of time in the office. You spend a lot of time there as compared to how much time you spend with your family members. So my experience was that for my colleagues, it was a bit more easier, quicker to adjust. With my family, it took a little bit more longer, a little bit more oomph, in a little bit more reminding to say, that's not who I am. That is not who I am. Okay, and then before transitioning out of my name, my birth name, what did I do to create a sense of closure? I love this question. I really love it. What did I do? So I'm a very spiritual person, and I like to say I'm spiritual, not religious, but spiritual. Even though I do study religion as well, because it's part of the spiritual journey as well. Everything's it's all connected. And what I did was, I have a thing especially when I'm going to things and I'm like trying to make a decision or find closure in my way forward here, was that I took the Bible and I opened the Bible. I just randomly open the Bible and I see where my eyes fall, and I read what that message is there for me. And I did that with three times, right, in one setting. And the message that came through for me on all of those passages that I read was, this is the thing you must do. This is the thing you must do. So for me, it wasn't, the closure was more from, is this the right direction, right? We want to know we're doing the right thing, because changing your name, it feels like a big thing, even though I think it feels like a big thing because it's not a common thing that happens, right? When as females, when we get married, when we change our names, our surnames, right? For the most part, because, well, there's a cultural thing around that. And it's an easy thing to change because it's already familiar with the countries, the systems are there in terms of your, we call it home affairs departments. I don't know what you guys call it, but where you get your identity documents and all of those things sorted out, and your marriage certificates and your birth certificates and so on. It's easier, right, to change your surname because people are used to it. And now you're coming along and you're saying, yeah, I don't want to just change my surname because I got married. I want to now change my name because I want to experience a more harmonic, vibrational connection to my name, which links to my birth patch, which links to the whole point of where I even went through the process of coming onto this earth and living this life. But people are not yet on that awareness. So they're like, you want to change your name? Like when I had to change my name, okay, here in South Africa, to change my name, I had to write a motivational letter. I had to get an affidavit. I had to get my husband to do a motivational letter and get that thing affidavit. I had to get my sister to do a motivational letter and get that thing affidavit. And then it had to go from the local department to the head office department because it was so unusual. There was a process now, additional steps to take in changing it, and even to changing my surname to my balanced name legally is an issue in terms of how the system is structured, because as far as the system is concerned, you need to be linked. You must be linked to a family tree. They need to link you to some family tree. And in my mind, I was like, well, create Kabularian family tree there, and then you'll know all of us who are linked to that to that way of operating. But yeah, so sometimes I think it's volume. I think when there's more people in a specific country, like in South Africa, if more of us start changing our names to be balanced names, essentially changing our names to be on the same vibrational frequency as my date of birth, so that my experiences in terms of why I am here has a little bit more assistance. It's never just one thing, right? In terms of living life, it's never just one thing. There's always multiple moving pieces that are involved in any given time. So it's never just one thing. But for me, this was a significant factor, specifically because I feel at whole, I feel it sits well with me that this is my name, and I resonate with it. Okay, so have I reached out to the Kabularian Society for additional support since changing my name? Interesting question. So I won't say I reached out specifically for support since changing my name, but I did reach out to study the cyclic chart. So if you go through the process of changing your name, there's other information and ways of engaging with life that's available that you can learn in terms of, this thing called life. So there's cycles. We work on a 9-year cycle. Everything works on a 9-year cycle, the cycle of 9. And I was studying that, which also helps understand how to actually calculate what a balanced name is for yourself. So I'm able to calculate. So I reached out also when my children have balanced names. I've named my children with the Kabbalarian philosophy principles. So they have balanced names as far as possible. And what was a nice thing is because I'm able to calculate the values that are necessary for a balanced name, depending on what the characteristics are of your date of birth and all of those things. I was able to identify for my children what a balanced name spelling would look like. Okay, especially for my my second child, so my second born. So the nice thing about that was that I was able to do it, but it's recommended to always go get it done by a professional. You don't want to go through the process of changing your name and then there's a letter or something that's in there that's not going to facilitate you achieving what it is that you want to achieve. Get it done by a professional. So if you want to go into the studies of it like I did, you can go and do that. But just because you know how to calculate it, unless you are given that stamp of approval by the Kabbalarian Society, I wouldn't recommend doing the calculations on yourself. And because it's not just about the calculations. You must also understand that every single value, every single letter has characteristics behind it. Okay, has properties, has attributes, and all of those things. How does it link up with all the other letters and all the other numbers? All right, because the letters all come out down to a number, which comes down to a characteristic of the individual. But the letter itself also has an influence on vowels, consonants, all of these things come on. That's a deeper thing, right? It's a deeper thing. My point is, get it done by the professionals. Do not do the calculations on yourself, because if you're going to change your name, you're doing it because you want it done correctly. You want it done correctly. And what does correctly mean in this platform here, right? As a Strive Alliance community, what do we mean when we speak about correctly? We mean balanced. We mean that the vibrational frequency is in harmony with, in this specific instance, with the reason that I was born, right? There's a frequency linked to the reason that I was born, and I want my name linked to that frequency. So there's harmony there. Okay, there's a lot of, if you want to get technical about it, you can go out. The Kabbalarian website will have lots and lots of material for you. I study the stuff because I'm very interested in it. So that's just me. I love discovering more about us as human beings and how we can effectively do what we came to do here and get it done in the most efficient way possible, but also in a way it doesn't feel like you're dying in the process. Okay, and then the last question that I have here is, have they extended additional support since changing? Okay, so has the Kabbalarian Society extended additional support since changing my name? Not extended, but I'm sure if you need any additional support, you can just reach out to them. It depends where you are and what it is that you need. Oh yeah, so when I did enroll to study the cyclic, to understand the intricacies of it, because I'm one of those people who likes the intricacies. I went into the intricacies when I studied. You get linked with a coach essentially. So there was someone very. And it's also, they link it in according to also the person will be in harmony with your vibration according to your birth parts and all of those things. And that's the person that I spoke to a lot via email. So you get linked with let's call it a coach. I can call it a coach or a mentor. And that person really, it was really nice. There was connection. There was, back and forth. It's not like you left. It's not like you could change your name and say, okay, here's your balanced name. Bye. See you. Hope it's all good. Hope it works out for you. No, it's not like that at all. Very supportive. They are very supportive. And the people at the end of the day, but it's like-minded people, right? It's like-minded people. So it's a different way of engaging compared to, let's say, a corporate environment, because in general people know the corporate environment has this masculine energy, and so it's very different way of engaging because it's a different way of thinking now. Now we're thinking about everything on a vibrational frequency. We're thinking of birth parts. We're thinking about things on spiritual levels as opposed to just the physical. Okay, so you are supported. The collaborator. I don't know how long the founder, Parker. I'm not getting the full name now, but they've been around for a while and they are very supportive. So if you are feeling called to change your name and you're not sure and you're hesitant and all of that, you found the reasons for a reason. You attracted it for a reason. And I mean, if you're watching this video or you watched the previous video that I made in terms of changing my name, you found this as well for a reason. I mean, we are so many miles and kilometers away from each other, but somehow we found the resource. You found this for you. You are finding this topic. So what we see is not always true. There's always more to it, and this is why I love studying this work and exploring it more. And you know, how can it change my life and your life? And as always, if you have any more questions regarding this or regarding anything that I speak about on my channel or any of my other platforms, please do feel to reach out to me. I'll put the contact details below as per usual. And yeah, that's it from me. I'll be seeing you. Oh, please do subscribe if you want to get notified about videos that I'm going to be releasing. Similar topics to this. I'm spiritual. How can we get on the vibes that are going to allow us to live the lives we want to live? That type of topics, mindset. If you want to get notified about when I release new content, please do subscribe. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram at Tribe Alliance. I'll also link that below. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching up until the end. I'll see you in my next communication. Bye.